Day 26, and this is what I am doing today.
No question about it. It happened. And
Can you see?
Even we're like,
Can you see yourself?
Yeah, got it.
hello,
Got it.
Rachel.
Look at who I have with me right now. On day 26, I think. We're on the 26th?
26th of January.
26. So Scott and I talked about this very thing long time ago, months and months and months ago, and now it's happening. So see what happens when you do this work, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yes. Amazing things, right? Yes. You get to be in the company of some very amazing people.
British gentleman.
I'm really good at
That is
managing.
her. Her.
That's her nose.
And sometimes him. I love him. I love him.
Love you too, darling.
Day 27, I think. Day 27. So I'm talking kind of quiet because there is a light session going on. Michelle is doing a light session in the next room. So I have to be kind of quiet. But I just wanted to share a few things about yesterday. It was one of the most profound things that's ever happened to me. Shayla did her Lucia light sessions. For anyone out there that may be watching this that doesn't know what a Lucia light is, it's a machine that was developed by two men. And I could be totally botching this, so go Google search Lucia light, Lucia, and it'll give you much more accurate info than I'm giving you. But I believe the two men were from Denmark, maybe, but one of them had a near-death experience when he was a kid, and it was obviously so profound with him. He spent the rest of his life trying to find a way to duplicate that experience so other people could know what that felt like. My experience has been different every time, and yesterday was maybe my 9th session, somewhere around there. It's all white light, but a lot of people experience colors, shapes, anywhere from just kind of seeing some really cool shapes and colors to speaking to, lost family members or friends that have died. Immediately, right away, I knew something big. It was big. It was, at first I honestly thought, oh, maybe she's turned it up because there's different levels you can do. But I thought, well, she wouldn't do that for beginners. Usually she'll start them off with less intensity. Right from the beginning, it was very intense. I would say it was my first really full and complete out-of-body experience, but not in a way that people describe it, not in a way that I was, my soul was above my body looking down. I knew what it felt like to be on the other side. I knew it. And I had conversations that I knew I was on the other side. Okay, so I started a video earlier this morning about my experience with the Lucia light yesterday, and it got interrupted, which was okay because I think I was not supposed to be doing that video at that time. Mostly I just want to get right into it. So without explaining too much, if you are interested in knowing a little bit more about what the Lucia light is, then you can Google it and you can find out all sorts of awesome information, all the health benefits it has, what it can do, and yeah, you can do that on your own. I just want to share with you my experience because I think it's really important. I wanted to do it, a part of me wanted to do it yesterday, but I didn't necessarily want to scare anyone off because it was pretty profound. So I've kind of waited until I've grounded myself a little. But I will say that the Lucia light has completely changed my spiritual path in a way that it has catapulted me forward. And I realize that I have all the chemicals and things I need inside of me to reach that. But sometimes it's okay too to have assistance, especially when it's not, it's just lights. So there's no sort of chemical, drug, any kind of thing like that. It's just flashing lights. I went in yesterday to do it. Every session has been different for me. This one was by far the most profound experience I've ever had in my life, in any meditation, in any Lucia light session, on any drug. It's hard because I know there's a lot that came through me or came to me in that 40 minutes that I'm, it may take time for me to remember all of it. So I just at least want to get out what I do remember and what I can share. So immediately after I went in, I went with 3 other people. Immediately I knew it took me fast, meaning it pulled me in. And I've been doing a lot of meditating in the last 2.5 years. I've been doing a lot of meditating, which for some people isn't that long, but it was very compounded. I went to 10 meditation workshops within a 1.5 years. I'm immersed in it pretty much every day. That's, how Scott and I live. So in a way, I think for me, I've gone on into this spiritual path and meditating almost in a very childlike way. I don't like, others. I don't have a lot of experience. I don't have 20 years of meditation or, going to retreats or silent meditation or whatever it may be, different teachers. I don't have that. And for me, I think in a way it's a good thing because I don't have a lot of beliefs or expectations around it. So when I say I'm childlike, I just kind of go into it with an open mind and open heart. I don't have a lot of beliefs behind what should or shouldn't happen. And going into this, I didn't have a big expectation for some reason. I just thought, okay, there was an open spot, I'll do it. You see colors and you see shapes and you see patterns, and it envelops you. It envelops your whole body. And the Lucia light is only white light. So the lights that are flashing, and your eyes are closed and you're sitting underneath it, the lights that are flashing are all white. So any color is coming from you, from your pineal gland. And immediately I knew, wow, this is a big one. And, there was a couple moments where it was like, okay, are you ready to go this far? Are you ready to jump that deep into the rabbit hole? And I just kept surrendering. There was a couple times, because you can kind of move down out of the light more if it's too much. And there was a couple times I thought about doing it, and I thought, no, I'm not going to let fear in. It's all love. I'm in a safe place. And I'm ready and want to have the experience. And boy, did I. So what it reminded me of is years and years and years ago, I remember watching a video on this kid and something with heart problems since he was like 2 or 3. I could be wrong. He had, I think it's like congenital heart failure. So he lived to about 16, 18, and then he passed, but he had a couple times where he was rushed to the hospital and his heart stopped and he died. And I always remember watching a video he did on YouTube, and he didn't say a word. I think he might have had music playing in the background, but he had cards, and they had what he had wrote on the cards. And they had interviewed his sister too and his mom, and they said, when he came back from dying in the hospital, he said he went to the other side, he crossed over. And if he had one wish for his family and the people he loved, it would be that they would never be scared of death, because he knew and he wanted them to know that it is so beautiful and it's just love and that's all there is. And he wanted so badly for them to not be afraid. In the video he does, he talks about that, and they were talking about it. And that always stuck with me, because I think we all have an inherent fear of death because it's unknown, because we don't know what happens. And it just always stuck with me because I used to have probably, I would say, a fear of death. So in going through the experience I had yesterday, that's what it reminded me of. I crossed over. I went, and I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that I say it in the most sincere and authentic way. I went to the other side. I felt that, and I knew it. I knew I was there, and it was pure love. It literally is nothing. There's nothing else exists. Nothing else exists. It's energy, and you don't see because you don't have a form, but you do see, you feel lights and movement, fast movement, but beautiful movement. And in one moment I was dancing with God, and I use the word God because that's the only thing I can refer to in that way, but it's not a word. And and then in the next moment it was such an intense love. I was completely out of my body. There was nothing. I was completely gone. I was in a different place. I knew that this was just so temporary and so insignificant in the way that we get caught up in it and think that it's so significant. And it was just, there were so many things that came to me there. And again, I think it's going to take a long time for me to process all that. But at one moment, I thought, what am I supposed to do with this? How it is so much that how can I take such a big, expansive love and know this, and almost like I got let in on a secret. But now you have to go back into this body and this 3D earth, and how do you do that? What do I do with that? And I will tell you, it was the weirdest sensation. Shayla ended it, the light ended, and I knew I could hear what was going on, but I couldn't move my body because I wasn't in my body. I was just completely the consciousness in my mind. And the other people that had done it with me, that was their first time. So, she quickly kind of talked with them a bit and walked them out. And thank God I had her, because it was, I've heard it and I've said it a million times. I couldn't get back in my body. And I understood that to a small extent until yesterday. It truly was there. I just, maybe a part of me didn't even want to, in a way. In one moment I could easily drift back into the other side, and this was well after the light was over. And then, all of a sudden I would be back here, and I would be hearing her, and I would be trying to kind of talk, but nothing was coming out of my mouth. I was talking in my head. It was so much to experience. I didn't think I would even be sitting right here, right now, being able to communicate. It was my near death without dying. And, the guy that created it, that's exactly why he created it, was he had a near death experience as a kid, and he wanted people to experience that. And that I did yesterday. And so for all those out there watching this, my message is the same as that young kids that I watched, is if you have any fear at all in death, please don't do that to yourself, because you can hear it a million times. But I experienced it yesterday. I went to a place I didn't even know, I didn't even fathom could exist. And again, even today, trying to integrate all that. And, I was definitely ready for it. 6 months ago, I wouldn't have been ready to have that kind of experience. So, you know, it is true. When you're ready, it comes. And, you know, I do think I was ready. I've done a lot of work internally, and I believe I was ready for it. And it was the most profound thing I've ever experienced in my entire life, ever. Even talking about it now, it still doesn't give it really any justice. And then I went in again today, went right in again. It just envelops you. And I will be honest, when we first laid down, I did have some fear come up because it took so long and I had never been that far out of my body before, and it took, you know, quite some time to come back. I was letting fear come in again today, just laying down, getting ready to do it again. You know, I went in it with love, and right away I was gone again, and I just let it take me over, and it just washes over your whole body, and it is bliss, it is ecstasy, it is love, it is nothing. And I had so much information come in this one. Again, just so much to process that it'll take me weeks. But, you know, it was very clear to me today, the human drama, it almost made me want to giggle today, because it was like, this is just a minute. It's just a minute. It's just a minute. And it just doesn't matter. It's just love. It really is. It's just love. That's really all there is. It's really all there is.
Yeah, I didn't.
Here he comes. He hears me recording, so he's coming.
What are you doing? Runs after
Day 28. Day 28. I have not done anything all day.
Okay. And what game are we currently
Can
playing?
you see yourselves?
No.
Yeah.
Just a little smile. This is day 27. The Bachelor, this, people.
I mean, hello, I'm right here. The most beautiful people is right here.
Today has been the best day 27 ever. And I will share all that with you tomorrow. Short video today.